Hello YouTube, it's Tony. So today I'll show you a flash powder factory guide for 2019. This is located in the Rogues Den, which is underneath the Tavli bar. I've marked this right on the minimap. The requirements for this are you need 75 thieving, 75 agility, and 50 herb lore. In order to start this game, you right click start on Brian or Richard, and then he'll teleport you inside. You have 15 minutes to play this minigame on an instance world. While there are other players in the same world as you, this is meant to be a solo game. You'll now receive the following items in your inventory: 6 catalyst powder, 3 refining apparatus, which is also shown on the top of each player's head, and 3 other important items, but you don't have to click these items. The objective of the gameplay is really simple. However, throughout this game, you'll encounter a lot of complicated mechanics. Anyways, you see these flashing arrows on the screen, right? Go towards these reagents, then collect both of them. The order does not matter, and these arrows are different for every player. There are obstacles to traverse, plus doorways you can enter. Once you've collected both reagents, mix at any red arrow afterwards. Every time you do this, this consumes 1 catalyst powder. You'll now earn factory points, plus a small amount of herb lore XP. Repeat the same process with new arrows flashing. When you've mixed the last catalyst powder, the game is finally over and the score is cashed in for what are called Brian points. Here is what the map looks like in the game. For both reagents, there are 4 possible spawn locations each. Reagent A is colored in blue, and it always spawns on the outer diamond. Then for reagent B on the other hand, this is yellow and it always spawns on the inner diamond. For the mixer station spots, they're always on the same place. Any other place within the map has charge machines. The center is for grabbing extra catalyst powder. Along each pathway corridor, there are what are called obstacles. When you traverse an obstacle, there's a chance you'll fail, although you can just redo this anyways. When you're going along the inner ring of this map, you are always going diagonally. Then for horizontal and vertically, you are traveling along the outer ring of this map. The center of this map rotates between an L shape and it goes clockwise. Some obstacles are faster than others. I've written down on screen what are the fast and the slow obstacles. I've also placed a map on the screen showing you the speed of this obstacle between every corridor, green being fast and red being slow. Now it is really hard to memorize, and I personally don't even remember all of them off the top of my head. Pressure doors. If a pressure door has a barrier, you cannot enter this. In order to open a pressure door, you have to operate a call button. If it's blue, it means you can click, while red on the other hand, it means you cannot click. Both sides of the corridor will open as soon as you press the open. Now the blue button will turn red for 20 seconds, so that means nobody can press it again. If you're locked inside a corridor and since there's no button, you can just exit freely by clicking the door. You have to do this quickly, or else you'll be teleported randomly throughout the map. Very occasionally a corridor will be pressurized. That means you cannot open this, so just pick another door within this room. The next mechanic we have are the door locking mechanics. This is why doing this with a lot of players is very annoying, because it will mess up your destination. When you're operating a call button to open a door, it will lock a certain pressure door. Yeah, so that means you just can't open every single door in the game. Now which door it locks depends on your current place and the destination of the opening door. Here are 3 situations. If you're operating a call button that leads from the outside ring to the inside ring, then the next room that gets locked is right in front of you. However, if you're going from the inside ring to the outer ring, then the next door will be locked is right behind you. Same goes for inside ring to inside ring. Charge machines. Sometimes you'll see a charge machine that's active. When you click this, you'll get 10% point buff for 100 seconds. This will stack twice for 20%. What's active is completely different for every player. Fallen Rubble. This does not appear as a red dot on the minimap. What you'll get out of this is either an apparatus, catalyst powder, or very rarely rogue armor pieces. Most of the time you'll get nothing out of this anyways, so you don't really have to bother with this. I've talked about the basics and the mechanics, so let's talk about the strategy and tips. Your ultimate goal is to grab both reagents, then mix them as fast as possible. Some people like to grab extra catalyst powder from the center, but I don't personally do this. You don't want to pickpocket other players for apparatus, well, unless they're AFKing for spotlight. When you're going for the reagents, you want to prioritize going diagonally on the inner ring as much as possible. It's a little bit hard to explain, but you notice on the minimap the inner ring always goes diagonally, right? This way it reduces the total amount of obstacles needed to reach a certain destination. You should try to prioritize faster over slower obstacles. Sometimes when you're going from the outer ring to the inner ring, the door is locked, right? As I said before, if you operate the call button, the door of the room ahead of you is going to be locked. Because of this, it's really time consuming, and instead, what you want to do is find another open path. However, if your plan is to go back right away, then yeah, by all means go ahead and do this. The key is to always pay attention to where you come from, as well as planning ahead. Again, it's better not to do this when it's populated because, like I said before, other people can mess up your destination. Sometimes you'll see an active charge machine in your path, so just go ahead and charge this. If it's not within your path, I wouldn't bother going actively for this. Overall, the objective of this minigame is really simple, but like I said before, the corridor and door mechanics are really difficult to understand. It takes a lot of practice. Here is an example map I'm going to show you and which path you want to take. I've listed examples of spawn locations plus the starting point. Just pause the video because I'll move on to the next section. So Tony, how exactly is factory score calculated? Well, every mix will give you a base score of 100. If you have 6 apparatus in your inventory, you'll get 15% more points per mix. Normally you start with 3 of them, but you can either steal from others or pick it up from the ground. The charge machine will give you 10% boost for 100 seconds, and this stacks for up to 20%. Finally, residue. For every flash powder you've made in this current game, you'll get 1% point boost. There are times where you want to leave early, and in order to leave this minigame, just destroy any piece of equipment. Nowadays, there is no penalty for leaving too early. The amount of brine points you get is equal to 1/7 of your current factory score. However, the maximum amount of brine points you can get is 180 at once. In other words, that is equal to 1,260 factory points in a single game. For me, I was able to average around 700 points per hour. I do have a full 1 hour footage of this, and I'll leave the link in the description. To be honest, I'm not the best when it comes to playing this game. I'm pretty sure you can get at least 800 points per hour if you're doing this at near optimal efficiency. With everything I said, is this minigame worth playing overall? In order to get the full Botanist set, this will take you 7.5 hours. I calculated this, and if you're averaging under 100k Herblore XP per hour, then yeah, you should go for this. This is only for level 99. If you're trying to go for 120, I probably might not suggest you go for this because over time, you'll probably end up winning this in Treasure Hunter, or otherwise Vic the Trader will arrive every 6 months. If I were you, I would probably only go for the modified Botanist mask. This should take you around 2.5 to 3 hours to get 2,000 points. For the factory outfit, it's not really worth getting for the full set. However, if you're an Iron Man, I suggest you buy 3 pieces. The factory boots first, then the factory gloves, then the factory top, and finally the Botanist mask plus the add-on. With that being said, even though this game is really hard to perfect, you're not going to spend a lot of time playing this game anyways. I mean, most of the other rewards just aren't that great. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it helps. If I missed anything, feel free to ask. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I'll update my 1 to 99 and 120 Herblore guide.